It has been a couple of weeks since Summer Shakeup, and I just wanted to check in with you guys to see how things are going, to also chat about what has been happening at TBM since Summer Shakeup. So much has changed. We learned so much from our speakers, and I don't know if I told you guys this, but we told our participants that one of the things we did for Summer Shakeup that was totally experimental was, although the speakers we all had our topics, we actually didn't pitch our speeches or our event talk to each other. And we did it for a reason. So the reason we actually didn't pre-prep our speeches to each other is we said to everybody that as a speaker, we also want to come as a participant. The reason being, we wanted to learn from each other. More than just coming to you guys and telling you everything, we had knowledge to absorb from each other. And it just made us so much more connected, both as a speaker and a participant, to listen and learn from the other speakers. And so when we came on live with you guys, I had no idea what Eden was going to say. I knew what he was going to talk about, but I had no idea what he was going to say. And it was the same for Angelique and Bala and Delri. So none of us had preempted what we were going to hear from each other, and it made the learning experience awesome. And so for those of you who came to Summer Shakeup, I just want to say congratulations again for showing up. We had people literally leaving work early to show up for this event. We've actually got one of our speakers here with us today who's actually going to talk to us about what's happened in his life after the event. And so, what has been happening on TBM side since Summer Shakeup? Well, if you came to Summer Shakeup, you would have heard that we have an entirely new program inspired by my past, but a past that shares a story I know will connect with many of you. So for those of you out there who have been in a toxic relationship or just been in love with the wrong person and you are self-sabotaging yourself in order to make that relationship survive, I hear you, I feel you, I've been there, and it is not how it's supposed to be. I want you to hear that loud and clear, that not everybody struggles in their relationship. Not everybody has cheating and lying in their relationship. That is not real. So those are some of the beliefs that I kept on affirming in my life when I was in abusive relationships. I consistently said to myself, everybody has that experience at some point in their relationship. And there is the term forgiveness, but forgiveness doesn't mean that you have to continue your own suffering in order to alleviate the other person. So forgiveness can mean understanding what went wrong and letting it go, but it doesn't mean consistently staying in a space of suffering. So our new program that we are launching in January 2025 is called Broken to Bold. You will know that if you've been looking at some of our posts, you can't just apply to be in Broken to Bold. It is an invite thing, so you have to apply to the invitation. We then chat to you. We see if the program fits you, because this is a very, very personal program, and we want to make sure that each of you who comes on board in this community fits that program, and that this program is going to work for you, that it's meant for you. And we want to make sure that the people who are present in your community as you go through the program are there to see you win, and they're excited for success, and they're excited to know what it takes to move on, what it takes to create a relationship where there is love, passion, and learning, and vulnerability, and the space to be vulnerable. So if you were at Summer Shakeup, you would have heard that one of the keys to being in a relationship is being able to be vulnerable. But it is very hard to be vulnerable with a partner who is unaccepting, who is conditional. And so it's really difficult to show your flaws and all your ugly spots, if I can call them that. It's, none of us are perfect, guys. All of us have things we need to work on, areas in our life that aren't beautiful. And having a relationship powerful enough where you can be that vulnerable, where the other person can look at your insecurities, and instead of judging you by them, they can say, hey, that's okay, I've also got insecurities, and I'd love to learn with you, I'd love to grow with you. And so we had this mantra, and I'm going to bring Eden on now because he's here, and I can't wait to hear what's been happening in his life since Summer Shakeup. But we had this mantra at Summer Shakeup, and it's one of the mantras that I've been using consistently this year. And it's one I want you to adopt now. So if you haven't heard it, here it is. It's, if it doesn't help me grow, I've got to let it go. Now, before we think, oh, if my partner's not helping me grow, I've got to let them go. If you're in a relationship, that doesn't mean you need to dump your boyfriend or girlfriend right now. What we're talking about is, are there habits and behaviors in the relationship that are stopping that relationship from growing? These are all little things we want to think about. You know, if there are those habits and behaviors that aren't helping your relationship grow, you've got to let it go. You know, and there's things like, you know, what role are you playing in the cracks of your relationship? So where your relationship is falling short, what role are you playing in those behaviors? And we all have a role to play. We're going to be talking about this and more in Broken to Bold. It's going to be a program of insight where we are healing from past, we are preparing ourselves for future, and we are understanding where we are presently and what we need to work with now. Why is this important? So if you were at Summer Shakeup, we had relationship day, and we spoke about how what we often do is we have a bad previous relationship, and we'll bring all the baggage of that previous relationship into the new relationship. And what we'll end up doing is we'll be punishing ourselves or our partner for unresolved issues in our past relationship. So we're going to be showing you how to resolve those things, how to process and resolve the things from your previous relationship, so you're not punishing your current partner or yourself in a new relationship, and that you're not adopting the same kind of relationship over and over again, just with different people, because that's not helpful either. And so what you're going to get from Broken to Bold is just insight on, how do I heal from my past? How do I deal with my present? And how do I create an incredible me that is going to allow me to be open to the relationship that I need and want? So those are the amazing things coming your way in 2025. We are also doing a total restructure at TBM. So our current program, which many of you know, is the personal development program. That is our most successful program. We are going to be changing the structure of that as well. So the way we're going to do it is very similar to Broken to Bold. We're going to ask you guys to come on board. We're going to ask you to sign up for the program. We're going to interview you. You're going to see, does this program actually fit you? Like, are you ready to do the work? You guys know by now, if you've been following this channel, if you were at Summer Shakeup and you heard Eden talking, and we're going to bring Eden on just now. There we go. Eden says it. If it doesn't let me grow, I got to let it go. Straight up, Eden. But one of the things we mentioned is personal development, personal growth. It's like going to the gym. And guys, I'm going to say it here. This is going to go up on my feed forevermore. And Eden is probably going to be laughing right now. But the truth is, happiness is hard, guys. Happiness is hard. It's not easy. If it were easy, everyone would be happy. But happiness takes work, because happiness is a choice. Happiness is creating habits that create specific emotional triggers for you. So that's not always easy, because a lot of us kind of want to blow with the wind. We kind of want to let our emotions rule us, and they take us on how we're feeling today. And the thing is, you need to train yourself. Personal growth is like a muscle. You need to train yourself to put yourself in a state where you experience life differently. Because words create meaning, meaning creates emotion, and emotion directly affects the reality we experience. How you are living emotionally, where you choose to live emotionally and stay emotionally, is going to affect the reality that you're experiencing every single day. You can have two people in the exact same environment. One of them will be thriving and happy, and the other one will be completely depressed. Okay, and what's happening there is that one of them is making a choice to focus on the things that are going to help them grow, and one of them is choosing to focus on all the things that aren't helping them grow and stay there. Okay, so we need to decide how to create our happiness. It's not easy, it's a choice, and we need to work it like a muscle. So all these amazing tools, tips and tricks and programs that you come to, they are educational. They teach you a variety of exciting ways to take control of your life and of your emotional state. But if you don't practice them, if you don't do the work, you're not going to get the results. It's exactly like a bikini body, guys. If you go to the gym and you know how to do squats, that is amazing, but that doesn't guarantee your body. You actually have to go to the gym and do those squats in order for you to see the result. And even on top of that, you need to do it more than once. Applying an exercise and knowing what the exercise is does not create the result. applying that exercise consistently until you get the result, that's what it's about. So enough from me. Let me talk to our wonderful Eden here. I would love to hear his perspective. Here we go. It's Eden. You should be joining us very, very shortly, I hope. So guys, more about Broken to Bold while we're waiting for Eden to get on, and I hope his signal is aligned for him to get on. There we go. We're just going to keep trying to allow him to get on here. But guys, Broken to Bold was something that I decided to do because I've had so many of you talking to me about relationships. And in our personal development program, we've had so many people coming to us with specifically relationship issues, and it comes down to things that have happened in our past that have shaped our lives. Now, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about some of the terminology that is mentioned in Broken to Bold, that is mentioned in relationship coaching. And one of the things that comes up consistently is love languages. So learning what is my partner's love language. So if you were at Summer Shakeup, you'll know this, and it's really cool. We spoke about love languages. Now, there are 5 love languages, and we all have a little bit of some of them, but we'll predominantly fit into 1 or 2 mostly. And sometimes what happens is the conflict coming up in our relationship isn't really conflict, but rather that we're speaking different love languages. So for example, and this is the example I used at Summer Shakeup, is you've got a couple and the guy is there at the house and he's had a long day of work. So he goes to the couch and he starts watching TV. And all he wants is for his partner, his wife, his girlfriend, whatever, to come sit and watch TV with him. Okay? And there's the wife cleaning the house, cleaning the kitchen, and she's like, okay, I'm cleaning up, I have to do all these amazing things. And she's like trying to make supper. And the husband's so frustrated. He's like, why can't you just spend time with me? I just want to spend time with you. And she's like, I can't spend time with you because the house is dirty and I need to clean the house in order for me to spend time with you. So this is part of the love language that we're going to cover in Broken to Bold. Hey, Eden, I'm just wrapping up here. I'll be 1 second. So love languages are so important. Now, ultimately, of course, the wife wants to spend time with her husband, but she feels like there are things and obligations and things she has to get done in the house in order to spend that quality time with her husband. Now, what are we talking about here? She's looking at her husband thinking, you lazy potato bum, why aren't you helping me do the dishes? Why aren't you helping me fold the laundry? Why aren't you helping me clean the house? You don't love me, you just want to sit on the couch all day. The husband is looking at the wife thinking, why can't you ever make time for me? All you want to do is clean the house and do the laundry. You never want to make time for me. Ultimately, both people love each other and want to spend time with each other, but their love languages are different. The husband's love language in that scenario would be quality time. And for the wife, it would be acts of service. And so what would happen is the husband learning, you know what, if I give my wife acts of service, if I help her with a little bit of the housework, I am spending quality time with her. She's going to appreciate me because I'm saying to her, I'm showing you love. I would love to watch TV right now, but I know that you appreciate me helping with the housework so we can ultimately spend more time together. Learn to speak each other's language. That is going to be part of Broken to Bold. And then last but not least, I'm not going to give it all away, but we're also going to be talking about something really powerful in the Broken to Bold program called toxic generational cycles. It's a big mouthful, but what that is, and Eden's nodding because he's heard this term before, but a toxic generational cycle is something that we have brought forth from our ancestors, so from mom or dad, from grandparents, from great-grandparents, things that are carried down through generations, behaviors and habits that are not helpful towards us, but we somehow adopt them, you know, based on what we learn as children, what we see as children, we absorb them. And even though we can identify that those behaviors aren't good and we don't want them, we somehow continuously seem to play them out in our own lives. And we can look at our lives and think, how did I get here? And you start to understand that these are things you've picked up from your ancestors. And so we're going to show you in Broken to Bold how to identify a toxic generational cycle and, more importantly, how to break it so that you don't continue to pass that down to future generations and that your family can heal. So be the chain breaker and be the healer in your family. But Eden, welcome, guys. So Eden was one of our speakers at the Summer Shakeup event, and he spoke about leadership and personal branding. Eden's conversation with us was all about how do I become a leader in my own right. And what Eden mentioned to us, he's just gone off, but I'm sure he'll be back on shortly. But what Eden mentioned to us was not just being a leader for other people, but first and foremost, how do we heal ourselves? How do we lead and heal ourselves? So leadership starts with us. So Eden, welcome. So great to see you.
Hey, so great to be here.
I wanted to ask you a little bit about what has happened in your life since Summer Shakeup. What has been going on?
Ooh, there's a lot of things going on. But before that, I want to address something you said here, and that is so true that a lot of us sometimes get to this misconception, and that causes a lot of suffering, that happiness just comes. And happiness doesn't just come. It's something that you build, exactly like a muscle, right? We talked about it. Like going once to the gym, that's it. You look sexy in the bikini, that's it. You look good on the beach. No, it takes time. You need to actually practice, and it's the same muscle. It's like when you're going to the gym, right? You do the same exercise again and again and again until it gets better and bigger, and actually you get leaner or muscular, right? It depends what is your goal, but basically you gotta do the exercise. You gotta do it. Same for happiness. Sometimes we wish for amazing, flourishing love, right? You talked about love and connection, right? But the thing is, yes, we have maybe the first chemistry, and then, right, a lot of time after a year or maybe half a year, suddenly disappear. It's not disappeared. We didn't work on it. So therefore, it's kind of going down the hill. So same in relationships, same with happiness. We got to do the exercise in order to feel it. And how we do it, it's like progress. Because progress creates that aliveness, creates that happiness. Because if we don't grow, we feel like we're dying. So we gotta keep growth. Otherwise, watching all day, binging on Netflix doesn't give us any happiness. Yes, of course, if you do it for a date, that's awesome. But not if it's a constant thing and you just do it because there's nothing else to do. There, you don't feel any joy, not happiness, right? So it's gotta be intentional. So I love that you brought it up. That's something I said I gotta touch it because it's huge. It's huge things, and it's huge misconception that cause us to suffer. So instead, we want to shift to the happiness side. That's also leading ourselves, leading others. And you also asked, like, what's new, right? So there's a lot of things new, right? So this is exciting. I actually didn't plan to share it, and then I said, okay, I gotta share. This is you guys are first to see it. So no one saw it yet. It's even in the box.
Oh, I can't wait. This is going to be my unboxing with Eden.
Yes. So this is something I have researched for more than 6 years. I saw which method are actually working, which doesn't work. I tested on myself, I tested on clients, and saw that what actually works, and I put it in one system. And this is time management tool, planning. So it's a planner that helps you to plan your life, plan your whole thing, not just time, but life, and actually feeling fulfilled and feeling happiness and feeling that progress. So you guys seeing it for the first time.
Oh my
No
gosh.
one else saw it yet. So yeah, this is super exciting. There's a lot of system and how to do it and all that inside. Right now, there's a few more steps to do it because I need to do some videos explanation. As you see, there's a missing QR code, so it's not yet to the public. So you guys see it for the first time. It will be ready in 2-3 weeks from now. So yeah, I'm excited for that. So yes, what's new? That's one thing.
I've been talking to Eden how long have we known each other now? 2-3 years?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, so Eden and I have been chatting for 3 years, and I remember this was something he's been thinking about since we first chatted. As he said, he's been in the works for like 6 years on this project. Well, actually, no, it's now a product. It's no longer a project. It's now a product. But like, that is the amazing thing about personal growth, guys. It's the things that come through in the long haul. And like, Eden knows my story, so I'm gonna share a little bit about it. But guys, I was not leading myself in my life. In fact, I kind of just got into that mindset of there's certain boxes you need to check in order for life to be happy, inverted commas, in order for you to be successful and happy, there are boxes we need to check. And once you check those boxes, you're done. And like, I got to this point where I was in my late 20s and I checked all the boxes and I'd never been more miserable and I couldn't understand. I was like, I don't understand. You know, I've got the job, I've moved to the city of my dreams, I'd done all these things and I wasn't happy. And like, Eden and I met at a Tony Robbins event. And for those of you who don't know Tony Robbins, just go look him up. It's a life changer. You don't have to go to a seminar and just look at his free content on Instagram and come back to me and tell me he didn't inspire you. If you do that, I will be amazed, and you probably won't be following me. Probably won't be a part of this tribe because, you know, this tribe is about growth. And it was by chance that I found Tony Robbins and I started going to seminars like this. And I've been to some of his seminars, I've been to some of Dean's seminars. Eden and I connected. And what we learned, guys, through this process of going to these seminars is we were completely accountable for our happiness. And I want Eden to talk more about this because he is the leadership expert and the personal branding expert. And Eden mentioned this in Summer Shakeup about like, it's not about having people follow you, but how are you leading yourself every day? You know, a lot of us want the popularity contest. A lot of us want everyone to listen to us and follow us and do, but at the end of the day, are you consistent with the rules that you're applying for everybody else? You know, when you are saying other people need to respect these boundaries, are you respecting those boundaries for yourself and others? You know, it's about how we consistently lead ourselves. And what Eden and I believe we learned hardcore in those seminars was it's about how you show up for yourself every day. And it's hard, guys. You know, I think a lot of the Instagram culture is you see somebody going from a toxic work environment to, oh my gosh, I own my own business and look at all the freedom I have in my life. But there's so much behind that. There are nights when you're crying because you are working for yourself, so no one can give you a break but you, and you don't feel like you deserve the break because your mindset is, I can't break yet because I'm not yet successful. So the very first thing you have to tackle is dealing with the mindset of, I need to take rest even if I haven't met my goal. And that's scary for people who have been in the 9 to 5. It's like, if I don't take the rest, I'm not going to make it. But it's convincing yourself to take the rest. It's telling yourself, you know, I can't see the end goal, but I know that my compass is pointing north. What is north? You know, finding north for you, finding ground zero even. So you guys see the Instagram version, and of course that's inspiring, and we love motivating you guys. We love being here to share tips and what's worked for us, and here's the motivation. But I actually want to talk to Eden today because he's very real and authentic. I want to talk to him about some of the hardships that we face because, you know, becoming an entrepreneur is not glamorous. There are nights of crying, there are late nights, there are days and weeks of, am I doing the right thing? You know, and one week, all the things you've been working towards work, and the very next week, none of them work, but you haven't changed anything, but your market has changed and you've got to change with it. So the resilience and adaptability and creating that leadership, and Eden's going to touch more on those terms of becoming a resilient and adaptable leader. I think when I was growing up, I always thought of leadership as this firm, concrete, this is who you are. But I've learned leadership is so much more like water. It's about flowing when you need to flow, pulling the tide when you need to pull the tide, making the wave when you need to make the wave. It's a ripple effect. It's all these things. And I always I don't know why, but it's changed from this rigid rock of leadership to become like the ocean, become like the water, because the water is far more powerful. Water breaks rock. And it's just learning how to lead powerfully, but it does start with you. And I think, you know, if you're coming to these chats and if you're coming to these seminars and the Instagram, first of all, congratulations for showing up like that. But hard news, it's not enough. You've got to take everything. And like we learned this at the Tony Robbins seminars, is like you squeeze out every drop of information. You're exhausted. You're there for hours every day. All you want to do is sleep. But you know, if you miss a minute, you miss years of education. So it's like you force yourself to stay awake. You force yourself to hydrate, to move, to be there, because you know that this is a game changer. And guys, if ever you are adopting personal growth into your life, if you can just dedicate 5 to 10 minutes a day, not where you're like half personal growth, half researching personal growth, half watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like going, spend 5 to 10 minutes fully absorbed and squeeze out the information, write it down. What can I detect from this? And take it further. So, like, what you get from it, and then have little ideas branching off that paragraph. What did this make me think of? What would I like to research more? What does this word mean? Who else can inspire me on this topic? Go deeper than the Instagram live, go deeper than the seminar, go deeper than the workbook. And if you can just do that 5 to 10 minutes every day for the next 3 months, you will live a completely different life in the next 3 months. Life changes. It's so weird. Like, when we're suffering, it feels like time is going on forever. But when you start to focus and point your compass north and dedicate that 5 to 10 minutes for 3 months, it's unbelievable how fast life actually changes when you put in the work. It's exactly, it is like that. Eden, you take it away. Talk to us more about leadership and resilience and adaptability and what it means to take control of your life, and don't sugarcoat it. We're not about the candy coating here. Like, let's get real.
Thank you for that. So basically, right, everything you said is so true, because a lot of time we say, "Oh, I'm busy. I have too much," and the thing is, if we don't take time, like 5, 10 minutes, like you mentioned, right, sit with ourselves and really be with ourselves, why should everyone will listen to you? If you don't, why should someone appreciate you if you don't appreciate yourself first? And this is a huge one, right? A lot of time when we talk about leadership, right? So we talked about one misconception about happiness. This is a second misconception right here. Is leadership. We think, like you said, right? I gotta be this person that everybody follows, and that's huge BS. Huge BS. Because the thing is, first in leadership, you don't lead others. First, you lead yourself. First, you take yourself, and actually then others follow, right? If we talked about it a bit we talked about it really deep, right? When Martin Luther King Jr., right, he was the person that comes to you and says, like, you see, I have kind of a dream that maybe black people and white people will sit together. Would you ever listen to that? No, right? He carried himself, and he believed in what he's doing. So he first carried himself and then others. When he came, I have a dream, and everybody remembers this, right? No, this was huge history change that give for the best, right? His beautiful life wasn't if he wasn't giving that dream. Right? I have a dream that white people and black people will sit together and all that, right? But he was really true with himself first. If he wasn't leading himself, no one will come with him. Right? So when we talk about leading, and you talked about also the hardship in businesses, if I would say it's a straight line of success, and that's what people usually think, like, ooh, that's a sweet success story. No, it goes like this, and vroom, vroom. You know how many times I fought to quit? How many times I thought, okay, that's it. It's too much. I can't do this anymore. So many times that crossed my mind. Especially with some of you know, some of you maybe the first time hearing this, I got injured while I was in the army 14 years ago. And I got a CRPS, that's a chronic regional pain syndrome. That means every second I have pain. Yes, even now that I'm talking to you right now, at this moment, guys, that you're listening here, and Jessica knows that it's a huge pain even in this instant. But the thing is, Yes, at first I thought even to take my life because it was 4 years that I was grounded to bed and couldn't get out of the bed because the pain was so enormous. And it is so enormous to the point that I got so many times, I can't count how many times I fainted from pain. I can't count, it was too many. But the thing is, only when I learned to control first in myself, what is in my control, and control the pain, then I was able to lead myself in business. And yes, in the business also with the pain and everything, and I have all the excuses in the world. I'm disabled, a veteran, I can sit, I don't have power, I have pain, I can sit on my couch, I can watch TV all day. I have all the excuses why not to do anything. And I did thought about it so many times. Oh, my pain is so hurt. I can't do anything. Maybe I will quit. Maybe I'm not business material. You know how many times I thought about that? But the thing is even though these hardships will come, and they will come, is when you have your tribe, when you have your people that support you, that's there for you, and you're there for yourself, that's when you can take yourself up. That's when you actually say, okay, I'm here to change. I'm here to do something else. Right? So first thing that helped me ground that all those years and still does is the mission. Have a mission. Have your why you're doing what you're doing. Why is it important to you to even get up from the bed, right? When you're having your job, your job, right? What do? Why do you keep up going? Even if you hate it, you're still going there, right? Why do you do that? Because you got to bring money. Why? Because you need to feed your family or feeding yourself even, right? So why you keep going? Because I have to survive, right? I have to bring money to the table. You have a why that even you hated the job, you're still going to the job because you're surviving through it. So why not live? Why live and suffer and not live with happiness, with leading yourself, with being with passion instead? So when you have a strong why, and I do recommend it, do it with yourself or do it with accountability partner, or you can, I'm sure Jess and I will be happy to help you with that, right? Just send us a message, hey, I need help with that, right? And the why, so this is a great exercise. Ask yourself 7 times, why? Why do you do what you do? Why do you want, if you didn't even start your business, why do you want to make that business? Why is it so important to you? And ask that 7 times. I remember when I went with that with my coach years ago, I was crying, I was sobbing because the first thing was like, right, and it's usually the first thing that comes up, hey, why do you want to do this? Oh, because I want to earn more money. Okay, awesome. You want to earn more money. Why? Um, because I want to be financial free, right? Those are the general, right? And as long as you keep going, it's like peeling an onion. So when you're peeling the onion, then you get to the hardcore truth. And we kept going, we kept going, we kept going until we hit the 6 and like, okay, why do you want to help people, right? Because that was after a couple years. Because I want to help people, give them what nobody gave me when I was at my darkest hours. I want to provide to my future kids. I want to provide for others and actually make a change, an impact, and help people shine through their darkest time. And I was sobbing. I was like, what? This is the core, like helping people become their true leaders. Because I help myself, so I want to bring it out. So what is your core truth? What is your why? Why do you do what you do? Right? And I want to add one more tool. So Jessica spoke with you a couple minutes ago about writing it down. Have 5 minutes. Add this question and really answer it. And after that, I'll tell you what to do. Is first, what are my wins? This is part of the planner right here, right? This is how you actually change the whole core. Asking yourself, What are my wins for today? It doesn't matter if it's a small win or a bigger win, because that's how you increase your confidence. That's how you see you actually getting better. Hey, Bar, great to have you here. So that's how you actually start to get more confidence in yourself, because a lot of time what we do most of the day, we're beating ourselves up. Oh, I didn't do enough. Oh, I haven't got enough. Oh, I didn't have time. That's a huge BS right there. Because having no time, if I really ask you, is that really true? What did you do really today? You start to list, oh, I did maybe laundry, maybe I studied, maybe I helped someone. You will start finding ways, what did you do? Because there's small wins every single day, and that's create confidence in yourself. That's create certainty in yourself. So ask yourself, what are my wins? And then anchor it with emotion. Start like celebrating, jump, dance, whatever would do good for you. Yeah, Jessica?
I wanted to touch on that, guys. Like we did mention it earlier, and there's this famous saying that where focus goes, energy flows. And you didn't actually mention this in Summer Shaker, but what is wrong will always be available. If I told you right now, make a list of everything that's not going right in your life, you would have a list ready for me in less than 10 seconds probably. But if I then asked you to take just a minute to actually make a list of things that are going right for you, the fact that you are here watching this video when how many people are dying every second of the day, but you're here watching this video, that's going right for you. There's a reason you're watching this video. There's a reason you decided to click on this live and no one else is today. So like, there's something happening. So look at the list of what is going right for me today. I woke up today. The sun is shining. I'm breathing. I have food in my fridge. I have running water. Like, it can be basic, guys, but where focus goes, energy flows. Now, if you want to focus on all the things that are going wrong in your life, what happens is emotions, guys. I love talking about emotions. Eden knows this. I'm fascinated by emotions because for the longest time, I just thought like emotions are something that happen and you just got to deal with them. I never realized that emotions are the result of things that are triggering us, which, I mean, if I say it now, I'm like, obviously. So what's happening is we're constantly, all our senses are picking things up that are affecting our current emotional state. How we're sitting, what I'm listening to, the temperature, what I'm seeing right now. Like if Eden sits on the call like this, immediately my expression wants to change. But when he smiles, I want to smile back at him. So there's constantly things that are perceptions happening. We are drawing these things in. And so what's happening is when we see these things or experience these things, we create an emotional trigger. We experience an emotion. So when we're focusing on all the bad things, what we're doing is saying, I'm going to flip the switch to a miserable emotion right now. I'm just going to flip it. And you are choosing that. Just like when you choose to focus on the things like the wins that are happening in your life, you're saying, I'm choosing to switch to a positive state. And you can actually choose that. Now, for those of you who are like, oh, I didn't choose to be in a bad mood today, I 100% get you. I understand that. And we often can't choose what emotion pops up, but we do get to choose how much airtime we give that emotion. Like, first of all is, why am I feeling this way? Look at your physiology. Look at the experience you're having. What are your habits? Have you loafed on the couch for 3 days? Because look at what happens to your body, guys. We love the science of this. So those of you who know me will know that part of my personal growth journey is understanding the science. That's just how my brain works. I really struggle to just have somebody tell me something and believe it. And it's something I say in my program all the time. I'll tell my clients, don't believe a word I say. Go and check me and go research it for yourself. Believe nothing I say. Go check it for yourself. Because that's where you create deeper learning. But if you see what happens to your body when you sit for a long period, you reduce the oxygen flow to your body, reduce your physical state. So you actually put yourself in a physical state where your body is unable to get enough oxygen to feel happy. So when you've done a movie marathon for 3 days and then you suddenly come out of that, you're like, oh, I feel terrible. Why is life like this? What's happened is over those 3 days, you've shifted your biochemistry. It's not suddenly an epiphany that you're feeling that way. It's a result of habits. and you get to choose. And once you understand that, you get to actually choose what emotional state you live in every day. And that's freaking powerful. That's when things change. Eden, take it away. You carry on.
That is so true. Emotion. I'm fascinated by emotions as well because it moves us. It moves us, or for delay, because I don't believe in negative thinking. It's or delaying or promoting emotions. So there are delaying emotions and there are promoting emotions, right? And like you said, if we're like this, how we will have the energy, right? You see, my voice drops immediate. Even if I'm trying to bring the energy, it doesn't go. You got to move. You got to change the whole physiology in order to move with it. If you're like this, the whole tonality change, your whole emotion change. But when you're straight and you bring the power up, have more power, you have more emotions, right? And we said about the why, and we said about the emotions, right? So with that, how can you move, right? Celebrating those small wins, this confidence, bringing it inside. Hey, Navo, great to have you here. So, right, we want from here to take it even up a notch. And a lot of time when we're talking about businesses, right, what happens is a lot of negativity comes with, am I good enough? What do I bring to the table? Why people will join me? And we talked a lot about it in the summer shakeup, right? It's the story and the limiting beliefs that we have, right? I call them evil clones because all the thoughts are very similar, very similar. They look alike, and some we don't notice they're popping up, right? So the delaying thoughts, right? The negativity thoughts that keeps popping up and delaying us. So we want to actually break through. And how we do that is first, okay, what is my why? Celebrating those wins, bring those happy emotions, reflect upon it, right? You got a lot of tools today to start with, right? And then, of course, anchoring the emotion, jump. What I mean by anchoring is we, as also just talked about it, right? As we humans, we move with emotions, right? So if we keep asking ourselves what's wrong, you get this. You get what's wrong in your life. But if you ask like what is good, how can I move forward? You're changing the emotion. Now you want to anchor it because we remember things. We remember emotions. If I told you right now, remember the baddest day that you ever had, the darkest day, straight away you remember it. Like I will ask you, what is the worst day that you ever had in your life? Straight away it's jump. And if I ask you, what is the best day in your life that you was so euphoric, you felt alive, bam, it comes up. Because the emotions are connected. And when you anchor the emotion, there was anchoring like in a ship, right? There's happening, bam, you're getting straight back. You're getting that motivation because motivation is something that fades away. So you want to create it every single day. So ask yourself, why do I do this? Right? Bring what are my wins? Bring that certainty, reflect upon it, dance, celebrate every single day, right? And then when you ask yourself, what's unique about me? Why should people join my business? It's your story. Your story is your uniqueness. What you bring to the table, nobody can else bring, right? Tony Robbins have his own story. That's why people love him because he's bringing his own story. He's bringing his own truth. And people join you as well because of your story. Even if you're not Tony Robbins, you don't need to be Tony Robbins. Be you. That's the beauty in it. Be you. Don't try to be someone else. A lot of time we try to be someone else. First, be you. Bring your truth. What is the story that you've brought? Who you truly are. That's actually changing your whole life.
And there's a confidence that happens in that. Like, I mean, it's something I think all of us who are entrepreneurs or small business owners or are leaders in our own right, like we all have had this experience where when you start out, one of the logical steps is find some mentors who you can look up to. And that's great. And I actually advise everybody to do that. But there also comes a point where you're no longer learning from your mentors, you're trying to copy them.
Yeah.
And it is the quickest way, I feel, it is the quickest way to trigger that imposter syndrome in yourself, because you're constantly like, oh, but I'm not there and I'm not there and I'm there. The truth is, you never will be there and you never will be them. And so you need to learn from your mentors, take notes. Again, squeeze out all the information you can, but from what you learn, create your own ideas from that. And you will have ideas, guys. Like, if you just write, if you're listening to this live now or you're watching it afterwards, make notes throughout this live. And I promise you, if you go back to your notes and you're like, how can I deepen the learning in this? Like, what other ideas can I get from this? What we've spoken about today, we're like scratching the tip of the iceberg. You will have so many more experiences, and it will be your journey and your learning experience that we haven't even touched on today. But there's this terrible thing that happens when we start to try and be our mentors is we lose our authenticity. And the one thing that people are so good at these days is picking up the BS in other people. We aren't so good at picking it up in ourselves, but we're very good at picking up when somebody isn't being authentic with us, when somebody is like trying to be this or trying to. So it is so quickly, I think the biggest way to stop your confidence boost is when we start trying to be like anybody else. But when you can say, I was inspired by this person because I found my authenticity, that is amazing. And that creates a whole chain of events that allows you to step, I think, pretty boldly in your business, because you're no longer saying, oh, I'm just going to copy what they did. You're going to say, I'm going to look at what they did and see how I can apply it to my life in a way that moves me, moves my people. Because, guys, at the end of the day, like, Eden and I connect really well, but Eden has his own tribe. I have my own tribe. Our tribes overlap, but there are certain people within our tribe that will only connect with me or only connect with Eden because their stories align mostly with our personal story. And that's a beautiful thing. So be careful about following people so close that you start to copy them and try to become them. Make sure that you are constantly saying, am I becoming this person, or am I being inspired by this person? Because as soon as you identify that red flag in yourself, it creates that relationship, I think, with your own leadership. And like Eden and I were at Summer Shakeup, and something that came up consistently from all the speakers was build a relationship with everything, not just with people. Build a relationship with your finances, build a relationship with your health. You know, when you're saying, oh, I hate my body, your body's not going to show you love. Your body's not going to do what you want it to when you're treating it badly. It's just like a partner. If you treat your partner badly and you're like, oh, my partner doesn't treat me well, how are you treating your partner? So it is the same thing. It's like, hey, what is the relationship with my body? What is the relationship with my business? Do I put the effort? Do I put the time and effort into the business? What is my relationship with my leadership style? Am I leading myself? Like, everything we experience in life is an energy exchange, and the relationship we form, it doesn't always have to be a person-to-person relationship. It can be a person-to-object, a person-to-behavior. And when you do that, why does it move us? Eden mentioned it earlier. Why does it move us? Because it creates an emotional connection with what we're doing. When you say, I'm going to go to work because I have to earn money, those are materialistic things. Like, they don't matter. You can earn money anyway. That's why it's not inspiring you. But when you say, I'm going to go to work, it's really tough, but I'm earning money. And what's great about this is it's allowing me to do the things I'm passionate about, like horse riding. And you have that emotion of, I've just connected passion with what I'm doing. It allows you to create your motivation instead of waiting for motivation to do something.
Heck yes. Heck yes. Guys, I hope you all take notes here, right? Because I believe never leave without any taking action. So writing notes, do the actions, right? What Jessica, you just said, right? What is my relationship with, right? Business, partners, whatever, with myself, right? You got to write it down and actually get those answers. And that creates huge shift in your life when you're taking the action. I can't emphasize it enough.
Yeah.
So take the action. This is the massive thing. And you talked about also imposter syndrome, which is huge, right? about imposter syndrome, a lot of time we try, like you said, mimicking our mentors or mimicking someone we think is successful. How can you actually bring more of you, right? I came across it so much with my clients is that, oh, but what they will think about me if I do this, if I do that, if I did this, if I do, what if I fail, what if that? The thing is, you got to be truth. When you're truth with yourself, where you at right now, that's deleting the imposter syndrome. Because a lot of time we try to be someone we're not, right? So if it's your first workshop, if it's your first business, if it's your first product, say, hey guys, this is the first time I do this, and say it out loud. That will take the imposter syndrome out. Actually, people will appreciate you more when you're telling the truth and not try to hide behind something you're not. So if it's your first time ever doing something, say, this is my first time. Or if you didn't understand something, say, hey, I didn't understand that. Can you please clarify? Can you please verify if it's with your partner, with your partners in business, or with yourself? Have that clarity that helps you to see, I actually am at this spot and I'm succeeding, which is also huge because imposter syndrome causes a lot of time to compare. Oh, look at he, look at she's getting better, he's getting better. You know what, that reminds me of a story. I go for this really quick. I remember a few years ago, I was in one of Dean's groups, Dean Graziosi groups. And I remember this guy that shouted out, hey, I'm just 3 months in business and I made my first $1 million. And I was like, what the hell? I'm doing this and that, and I haven't read what is going on, why he got it and I did, and all that in my brain. I start to compare to him, and then I start to feel bad and shitty about myself. Okay. And then I caught myself doing that, and I said, whoa, wait a second. Well, why do you feel like that? Is that really true? Do I know the whole story behind that? How did he got that $1 million in 3 months? No, I don't know really the whole truth. I don't really know what everything that he did to reach it. So what I did, I went to that person and then I sent him a message. Like, hey, I really would love to know, did you really got in 3 months to $1 million? I saw your post and it got me really wondering. And then he said, no, it took me 3 months in this business, but I've been doing businesses for 15 or 17 years. I don't remember the exact time, it was 15 or 17 years. I'm doing that and kick my ass off, and I'm doing like this, and I failed with this business and failed with this business. So I learned everything that doesn't work. So yeah, the new business, I got it in 3 months, bam, I got 1 million, but I have 15 years in my belt of experiences. So a lot of time we try to compare to others, but we don't really know the truth. So only compare yourself with yourself. Where have I been 3 months ago? Where have I been 6 months ago? And if you didn't progress, ask yourself, what can I do to progress right now? Even 1 more step, 2 more steps. If you progress, you will have a huge list of progress. Like, oh, I did this and that and this and that. And then you will feel happier. You will feel like fulfilled. Oh, yes, I done all of this. How did I not see that before? And then you get proud of yourself. You're not comparing anymore. So this is how to destroy this and actually that imposter syndrome and get more confidence, leading yourself. And then you can lead others. People will want to be part of your community. People will want to buy from you if you're being the true self.
I totally agree with that. And I like what you said there. It's amazing, like when you're able to lead yourself, guys, and when you're passionate and authentic about where you're at. You know what? When you are starting out, it is so much more exciting to connect with someone who says, you know what, this is the first time I'm doing this and I want to share it with you. People are so much more excited to hop on that call than someone who says, I've been doing this for 10 years. I've had 1,000 people tell me how great it is. You're lucky to be here. No one wants to hear that pitch. Everyone's excited to learn with you. And it's amazing that when you step into that level of authenticity, how your tribe changes. So I remember being exactly where Ethan was. I remember being in an environment where I would look at everybody else's success, and instead of looking at their success and being like, oh, that is amazing for that person, awesome, I was so resentful. I was like, nasty. I was like, oh, I deserve that. They don't deserve that. And I would pick apart. This is how terrible I was, guys. But this is why it's so important to step into authenticity. This is why it's important to lead yourself first. Is I would try and pick apart somebody else's character to make me feel better about why they were succeeding and I wasn't. And it was the most unhelpful habit ever. It gave me this moment of, all it did for me was say to myself, well, you know what? If I need to be successful by doing X, Y, and Z, then I'm not going to do it. It gave me an excuse not to show up. That didn't help me. And what I quickly realized is, when Eden is successful in his ventures, that doesn't mean I'm unsuccessful in my adventures. You know, it's his success. Do I want to step into Eden's life? No. Does he want to step into mine? No. Do we want to get excited for each other's success? Absolutely. Because we know it's each other's journey, but it's stepping into that path of, there can be people doing the exact same thing as you, but they will never be able to do it the way that you can do it. That is the gift that we have. And so you would have heard this all at the Summer Shake-Up. Eden and I are going to love and leave you now because it's been a long life, but it's been amazing. And we're going to do more of these, guys. Eden is like part of the TBM family, so he's probably going to hop on here quite often. Like whenever Eden and I are like, okay, let's just do a live. Let's talk about this. And again, guys, like talking about authenticity, like Eden and I got into this live. We decided to do this live last week. But we haven't preempted anything that was said here today. We were like, let's just hop on, start talking about Summer Shake-Up and see where it takes us. And it is that power of authenticity and being able to say, Eden's on his path, I'm so excited for him. Jess is on her path, I'm so excited for her. That allows us to connect on a level that has a ripple effect for other people. And I encourage each and every one of you who are watching this recording, because it is going to go on the grid on our feed, make notes, go over your notes again, and see what ideas you come up with from this. You will be amazed that when you ask your brain a question, like Eden says, the brain is programmed. This is the first search engine. This is the world's first search engine. It's here. And it is programmed to give you answers. But just like Google, if you type in a really bad question, you're going to get a really bad answer. So start clarifying those questions. What else can I learn from this? How deep can I go into this? You will be lifting Pandora's box. Like the little Pandora's box is going to happen here, because you'll notice that it literally, exactly, it blows your mind. And once you go down this rabbit hole, you will never be able to look back. Life will never be the same, as Tony always says. Like, you will never be able to look back in your life and say, I didn't know. It's always going to be a matter of, what do I need to learn? And it's an incredible change. Eden, I just want to say thank you for always being game to show up on TBM platform, to come to Summer Shake-Up event, to give your all, and for showing us your new planner. I'm very excited. Guys, Eden, I'm going to tag in this post on our grid. Please reach out to him directly. Like, he responds to direct messages. I'm putting Eden on the spot here, but he does respond to direct messages. Talk to him about the planner, ask him about it, ask him if he can help you with time management, personal branding, leadership. He's got a wealth of information. And if you guys want to learn anything else, if there's something we mentioned in this live that you're like, hey, that sounds like a tool that I'd like to learn more about, reach out to Eden or I. We'll love to hop on a call with you, talk through it. And if you're comfortable, we would even hop on a live with you and help you right here so that other people can benefit from your question. We're happy to do that. We're excited to do that. And Eden, I just really always appreciate your energy and the life and soul that you bring to the TBM platform and the tribe here. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to serve. And I always love to go live with you if it's on Summer Shake-Up or here. I just love it. It's beautiful. I love the energy. I love what we bring, and it's amazing. And guys, like I'm always saying, right, keep on going, keep on growing, right? It's not just one-time thing. Keep doing the action, and you will grow tremendously, right? And like we said, authenticity is huge. So be true, right? I didn't say, hey, I sold 1,000 copies. No, this is the first copy, right? I was true, and that's when you will be. You will see that people will want to be more of what you're creating. because it's huge. So again, thank you, Jess, for having me here. Guys, thank you for investing our time with us.
Thanks,
Let's keep on growing.
guys. Bye, Eden. Chat soon. Bye, everybody.